بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. So inshallah we're going to begin a new series. This is going to be a detailed discussion regarding the Madina Books. It's recommended that you've already gone through these books. And there are free lessons which will take you step by step to understanding these books. Now the question is, why am I redoing these lessons? The main reason is because the free course was an intensive course and I actually missed out on a lot of details. Also, there was no opportunity for students to ask questions, to clarify their questions. So this course will be a clarification as well. If you haven't studied the Madina Books before, it's recommended that you have a basic knowledge of Arabic. So it's recommended that you've studied a grammar book and are familiar with basic grammatical terminology. Things like a jumla ismiya, jumla fi'liya, the fi'l, the fa'il, the mubtada, the khabar. So it's recommended you understand all these things. If you haven't studied these, you'll still benefit from these lessons, but I do advise you to re-listen to these after you've studied these concepts. So I plan on skipping a lot of the basic concepts, and I'll be concentrating mostly on tying all this information together and giving you a firmer grounding in grammar and morphology. And we'll also, at the same time, go through some aspects of rhetoric. So we start first at Darsul Awwal. Now you notice here, Al-Darsu Al-Awwalu. So with a word, which is singular, followed by a description. This is describing Al-Dars. It's the first lesson. The question is, this is not a complete jumla. And so there's something actually omitted that's assumed to be there. Now this is actually something that we'll come to know in Arabic, is that there are many instances where things are omitted and assumed to be there. And this will actually come with time. The more you study, the more you realize this concept and what is the actual word or words that have been omitted. Now, if you told somebody lesson 1, it's not a complete sentence. Similarly, here, ad-darsul awwal, the first lesson, it's not a complete sentence. So, for example, in English, you could say, this is the first lesson. So, هذا الدرس الأول. And it's quite ironic that we're actually starting off with هذا, which is the ism ishara, a demonstrative pronoun. We're going to speak about هذا. Now, with هذا, you can actually break this up into two parts, as we can see here. So we have here ha, which is made up of a ha plus an alif. Now in Arabic script, this alif, when it's actually joined to the demonstrative pronoun, is not written. Now actually in the Mus'haf, you'll find that it's written in this way. It's a small alif, and that's just to do with the script. And it's pronounced as ha. Now this ha is actually a particle. It's a harf. And it's a particle which is used to draw attention of the listener. So for example, you have something important and you want the listener to turn his attention to you. You'd use this particle here. This particle is called harfu tanbih, the particle of drawing attention. And this particle is joined to the demonstrative pronouns, the ones that refer to close distance. So if somebody's indicating something which is close to one, you'd use the ha utanbih. And this occurs with all of the demonstrative pronouns that are used for something that is close. So if somebody's indicating something that is close to one, you'd use ha utanbih. Then we come to Tha. So tha, this is an ism ishara. It's the masculine singular demonstrative pronoun. Now, that can also be used for other meanings. But here specifically we're talking about when it's used as a demonstrative pronoun. So that would mean this. While here, a good translation of this would be over here. So you're drawing somebody's attention as you are speaking. Over here. Okay, let's continue on. So we come to the first three jumla ismiyas, or nominal sentences, which is composed of a mubtada, hadha, and then the word following it will be the khabar. So the mubtada usually is definite, and the khabar usually is indefinite. So hadha baytun, this is a house. Hadha masjidun, this is a masjid. Hadha babun, this is a door. And notice I actually pronounce the last letter. And obviously if you stop at the last letter, you don't pronounce any haraka. It's like there's a sukoon. So hadha bab. A point here with bab. In classical Arabic, bab does not mean door. It actually is used for the passageway between two areas. So you have two rooms, for example. This passageway is bab. In modern Arabic, this has come to be known as the actual door itself. In classical Arabic, you would probably use the word sadd for the door. Now, all these things that I mentioned, bayt, a house, masjid, mosque, or I prefer masjid, or bab, these are all entities. Now, by default, entities are indefinite with for example, the word rajul, a man, imra'atun, a woman, kalbun, a dog, and so on. They're all indefinite, unless you're talking about a specific entity. When you're indicating them by using hadha, you're indicating or you're pointing to what entity they are. That this is a house, this is a masjid, this is a door. If, on the other hand, you want to point to a specific house, for example, the house of Muhammad, and you say, Aina Baytu Muhammad, where is Muhammad's house? You wouldn't respond, Hadha Baytun. You'd respond, Hadha al Baytu. You put the definite article there because you're talking about a specific house. And you're saying, this is the house that we are talking about. So here the context is very important in what type of structure you bring. And this will take time, inshallah, as we progress and try to understand the concepts in some more detail. Now, just finally, I just want to mention something, and this is regarding words in Arabic. Now, approximately, I'd say more than 96% of words in Arabic are based on a 3-letter root. So when it comes to entities, whether a living, non-living, physical or non-physical, whatever it is, you can actually trace the word back to a 3-letter root. And what I want students to do and to put in the back of their mind is that every word has a 3-letter root in most cases. And here I'm speaking about entities. I'm not speaking about pronouns or an ism ishara. I'm talking about the ismu dhat. Ismu dhat. Ismu dhat is actually the Arabic term used for entities like door, house, cat, dog. It's not a proper name. So for example, Muhammad is a name of a particular person. This is not ismu dhat. But for example, if we said tajirun, a merchant, that's an ism dhat. Now if we look at the 3-letter root, here we have the ba, the ya, and the ta. That's quite simple. That's actually the 3-letter root. Masjid, it comes from the sin, the jim, and the dal. And from this we get the word sujood. So the place where you make sajda or sujood. And from it we get so many other words. And it's quite important to understand this. With bab, a point here is the alif can never be only letter that is in place of another letter. So the alif could actually be in place of either the waw or the ya. In this case, it's the waw. So if you were to look this up in the dictionary, you look up ba, waw, ba. And we'll explain later on how to use the Hans-Wehr dictionary, which is very important. So whether you're starting off or whether in your advanced studies, the Hans-Wehr dictionary is going to be your companion. You're going to need it with you all the time. And just finally, a point is here the word bait. Bait means house. In Arabic, we have other words to mean house. And another common word is dar. Now the problem is we can't say هذا دار. And the reason why is because dar is feminine. It's not masculine. So therefore you need to bring a feminine ism ishara. هذه دار. And in Arabic we'll find out also is the richness of the language. Bait comes from a root. We have, for example, the verbs bata, yabitu. It comes from a root to mean to spend the night. So this is the place where one sleeps and spends the night there. Dar, on the other hand, is derived from dara yaduru, which means to go around. So it's a place where one roams around and goes around and does what he wants because there's the privacy. So you actually find out that synonyms are not actually synonyms. They might be used in modern Arabic for the same meaning. In classical Arabic, there's a difference. And the key point here is if they're not the same base letters, they mean different things. And if they do have the same base letters, there's a relationship between the two meanings. Okay, that's the first video. And we'll go through the rest of the lesson in the next video, inshallah. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.